Dear students, a very good day to all of you. Hope you all are doing good. So, we have come to a topic that is study of various carboxylic acids which comes under unit 5. Under that, it's a one more part along with the acidity of carboxylic acid. Okay. So, let us see first what your syllabus, like how the piece given the various compounds. You can see the list of compounds. I just, for your easy understanding purpose, I have categorized them into aliphatic carboxylic acids and aromatic carboxylic acids. So aliphatic means they will be having a straight chain. Aromatic means they will have benzene ring in addition to the straight chain. So according to their structure, I have divided them into aliphatic and aromatic. In this session, I am going to take only the aliphatic carboxylic acids, their structures and uses. In the upcoming sessions, I will take these aromatic carboxylic acids. Okay. These aliphatic carboxylic acids or aromatic carboxylic acids, based on the carboxyl group, they are being known as monocarboxylic acids, dicarboxylic acids and tricarboxylic acids. Suppose if the COH group is present in the main chain, like one group is present, that is called monocarboxylic acid. Under the aliphatic category, we have monocarboxylic acids. The best examples are acetic acid and lactic acid. Whereas if two COH groups are present in the main chain or in the structure of a particular compound, they are being denoted as dicarboxylic acids. The best examples are oxalic acid, succinic acid and tartaric acid. And if three carboxylic acid groups are present, it is called as tricarboxylic acid. The familiar example is citric acid, which is available in all the citrus fruits. So understood, based on the number of carboxylic groups, again I have categorized those compounds into three varieties, so that if you just remember, like one group is present, at least suppose sometimes if chain is missing, at least if you know that it's a monocarboxylic acid, at least you will get half of the marks. So based on the number of carboxylic acids, it is been classified. So directly going into the compounds, acetic acid. So acetic acid is the starting member or the basic moiety or basic present in the acids. So the first molecule under the carboxylic acids is acetic acid. Why? Because it contains one carbon. COH is present for all the acids. Like only one carbon is present. That is why it is called, it should be having a prefix like meth. So methane carboxylic acid is one common name, and another name is ethanoic acid, as we are like adding up the second carbon from the carboxylic acid. General rule, if you apply the general IUPAC rule, it will get a name like ethanoic acid. Clear? So these are the different names for acetic acid. We will be seeing this acetic acid in the lab very frequently for doing various titrations like non-aqueous titrations and all. At that time, you will give the name as glacial acetic acid. Why we are calling it glacial acetic acid? Because glacial means pure form. When the bottle is opened, when the acid is freshly opened from a bottle, it will be in a high concentration. So that concentrated liquid or acid is called glacial acetic acid. But on a long period of time, when you expose to sunlight or atmospheric condition, what will happen? It absorbs the moisture and it will become dilute form. That is why when it is freshly prepared, or sorry, when it is freshly opened or prepared, whatever it is, so it is called as glacial acetic acid, which is concentrated, and this glacial acetic acid is very dangerous to the skin. It may cause corrosiveness and damage to the skin. Points. See, when acetic acid is undiluted, it is called glacial acetic acid. That means when it is in its pure form. Okay. Although it's a weak acid. See, when you compare the acidic character or a dissociation constant based on the pK value, it will be having weak acidic nature. But still, when it is in concentrated form, it is corrosive and also can cause damage to the skin. Okay. So coming to the uses of the acetic acid, many times or very frequently, very often you will see this in your kitchen, right? So what purpose we are using? We are using it as a food additive. So general, for your remembrance, like all the compounds which are under acid character, they are generally sour in taste. So to make that flavor, generally we will use these acids. The best example is acetic acid. So 2 to 5% of acetic acid will be used as a food additive. Make various colors acid. Why? Because the alpha carbon contains the hydroxyl group. Clear? This is hydroxyl which is present in the alpha carbon. You can see the adjacent carbon from the functional group, it is called alpha carbon, which contains a hydroxyl group. You can see this carbon is also an asymmetric carbon. You see 4 different groups are attached to this carbon, hence it is called asymmetric carbon or chiral carbon. So definitely it will be optically active. Whenever there is a chiral carbon, it will have isomers, right? So one chiral carbon is there, so definitely it will have 2 isomers. Okay, so 2 optical isomers are present for this compound. Coming to the uses, so it is used in food and pharmaceutical industries and also used in making plastics. So you know, no, the lactic acid means generally present in the milk. So what it will do, generally it helps in the coagulation of proteins in the milk. Okay, and also used in textile and dyeing. See, textile industry, what for dyeing purpose means to make it like colorful, how we are getting all colorful clothes by means of dyes, right? And also leather tanning. And lactate, so lactate is nothing but ester obtained from the lactic acid. So lactate plays an important role in healing of traumatic brain injuries. Okay, so this lactate, what they will do, it will be useful for chronic, means when the pain is very severe, or when there is a trauma in brain, or when there is some injury in the brain, so at that time and all, this lactate will be used, okay, for surgeries. Then release of norepinephrine in the brain is signaled by lactate. So why they are using? Because it is used for by the mechanism of releasing the norepinephrine in the brain. Okay, so signaling pathways will be activated by use of. And the next compound is oxalic acid. So till now we have seen two compounds which are coming under monocarboxylic acids. That means only one COH is present. In case of oxalic acid, you see the structure. Two COH groups are attached together. There is no carbon in between this junction. So this is called oxalic acid. H2C2O4 is the molecular formula. So oxalic acid we will be using for various purposes in the lab. The main purpose is to standardize the sodium hydroxide, right? So we'll see the uses. The first use is reducing agent for metal oxides to remove tar as well as rust or any kind of stains like ink stains. So what it will do, it will react with the metal oxides and it will convert them into a complex or soluble complex and remove it. So by using this, you can remove any kind of stain or any kind of tar or any kind of rust from particular metal. Okay, then it is used in the dyeing process as a mordant. Mordant is nothing but binding kind. So when you have to dye something, you need to have some binding agent. Otherwise the dye color, if it is going slowly, then there will not be any use. So in those situations, this will be used as mordant, and then it is used in removing the rust. Correct, no? Because it is reacting with all the metal oxides. So what are the three uses we have seen? As a mainly it is used as reducing agent to remove all the stains, and then used as a mordant, and then used to remove the rust. Rust means generally when metallic compounds, right? Okay, so any iron and all, when they undergo oxidation, so that rust and all will be removed by this oxalic acid. And then so removing food and ink stains. Already ink stains we have seen, even food stains like some any masalas or some kind of coffee stains and all will be removed from using this oxalic acid, and also used in developing photographic films and used in wastewater treatment to remove the calcium deposit. So the main purpose is to remove particular dirty material or stain material or any kind of calcium deposits. Clear? The next acid is succinic acid. Oxalic acid comes under dicarboxylic acid. Same way, succinic acid also a dicarboxylic acid which contains two carbons in between the COH groups. If you see oxalic acid O for O, 0, you just remember like that. So there is no carbons in between the two carboxylic acids. But in case of succinic acids, you have two carbons. Okay, total number of carbons here are 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this is the structure of succinic acid. Let's see the uses. So the basic use of succinic acid in the food industry or in the beverage industry is as a pH regulator, okay, or acidity regulator. So this is the prime important use of this succinic acid. And the next use is it is also used as flavoring agent and an excipient in the pharmaceutical products. So general way all these acids will be having sour taste, like tamarind acidic in nature, it is sour in taste. So in that particular reason all these acids will be used in food industries as flavoring agents. Okay. The next acid is tartaric acid. See, there is a small slight modification between the structure of succinic acid and tartaric acid. Here and here two hydroxy groups are attached. That is why it is called 2,3-dihydroxy succinic acid. 2,3-di. Di means 2. Hydroxy OH groups are attached. And the basic moiety of this structure is succinic acid. That is why 2,3-dihydroxy succinic acid, also called as racemic acid. If you cut this compound, both the sides will be same. Okay, racemic mixture or racemic acid. Coming to the uses, it is used to chelate metal ions such as magnesium and calcium, similar way to the oxalic acid, and used as an antioxidant, used in foods to give a sour taste, as an emetic. Emetic means which induces the vomiting. So in case of like sudden poisoning situations, like that time you have to induce the particular person to vomit the poison. So at that situation they will give this tartaric acid. In its ester form it is used in the dyeing of textile. So tartarate is the ester form and that tartarate will be used in the dyeing of textile industries. And the other uses are mainly stabilizer in the food and also used in candies. So stabilizer, what is the meaning of stabilizer? It is nothing but generally in the ice creams foam causing foods and all, they will use some compounds as stabilizers. Okay. Citric acid. So the last compound under the aliphatic carboxylic acids. So you can observe here 1, 2 and 3. 3 carboxylic acids are present. So hence it is coming under tricarboxylic acid category. And how many carbons are there? 3 carbons with 1 hydroxyl group. Okay. So this is called citric acid. Don't be confused with citric acid and ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid is very much different and citric acid is different. Okay. And as we know, citric acid, it is a flavoring agent and also acidifier and chelating agent. Chelating agent means it will form complexes. So to make some complexes, citric acid will be used, and also emulsifying agent in the ice creams. Okay. So in ice creams and all, it will be used as emulsifying agent.